Hello everyone, myself Dilip Udani, and today I will teach you this topic, that is function arguments. So let's start. First of all, we will see types of arguments. So here we have declared one function with the help of keyword def. This is the function name f1, and a comma b are the parameters, and here we have body of the loop. Here we are calling this function f1 10 comma 20. So what is the difference between this a and b and this 10 and 20? See, a and b are formal arguments, whereas 10, 20 are actual arguments. There are four types of actual arguments which are allowed in Python. First one is positional arguments, second one is keyword arguments, third one is default arguments, and the fourth one is variable length arguments. So first of all, we will discuss positional arguments. These are the arguments passed to function in correct positional order. The number of arguments and position of arguments must be matched. If we change the order, then result may be changed. If we change the number of arguments, then we will get error. How? I will just make you understand with the help of example. See, this is the example, and here we have declare a function using the keyword def. The function name is sub, and the formal parameters are a and b, and in the body of the loop we are writing this print statement, that is print a minus b. So what this function will do, it will give us the result of subtraction of a and b. It will subtract b from a. See, if I will call the function sub 100 comma 200, so what it will do? See, here the position is important. Here 100 will be assigned to a and 200 will be assigned to b. So it will give the result 100 minus 200, that is minus 100. And if I will say call the function sub 200 comma 100, so what it will do, here 200 will be assigned to variable a, 100 will be assigned to variable b, and it will give us the result, that is 200 minus 100, so the output will be 100. Now I will show you the output in PyCharm. See, I have written the same program over here. The file name is positional argument. So I will just click on this run button to run this program. Just click on the run button and you can see the output, that is minus 100. For sub 100 comma 200, it will give us the result 100 minus 200, that is minus 100. And for sub 200 comma 100, it will give us the result, that is 100, and which is nothing but subtraction of 100 from 200. Now we will see keyword arguments. We can pass argument values by keyword, that is by parameter name. So I will just make you understand with the help of example. Here we are declaring one function, that is wish function. So first of all we will write down def keyword, then after function name wish, and we are passing the parameters by parameter name. One is name and other is msg, that is message, and don't forget to write down this column. Then after, in the body of the loop, we are writing the print statement, that is hello comma name comma msg or message. If I will call the function wish name equals to Arman comma msg or message equals to good morning. So what will be the output in this case? See, here the parameter name is name and we are passing name equals to Arman, and then after in parameter MSG we are passing good morning. So what will be the output? That is hello. In place of name we will be having Arman. In place of MSG we will be having good morning. So the output will be hello Arman, good morning. Similarly, I will just say call this function, that is wish MSG equals to good morning, comma name equals to Arman. So what it will do, again it will give me the same output. So what does it mean? It means you can write down the keyword argument name first and then after message, or message keyword argument first and then after name keyword argument. So what will be the output in this case? That is hello Arman, good morning. And again for this one we will be having same output, that is hello Arman, good morning. Now I will show you the output in PyCharm. See, I have written the same program. Now I will just run this program by clicking on this run button. Again click on run button. Now select the file name. What is file name? That is part1 keyword argument. Just click on part1 keyword argument. So what will be the output? Definitely that is hello Arman, good morning. Again we have same output, that is hello Arman, good morning. Here the order of arguments is not important, but the number of argument must be matched. It means if you will first write down name and then after message, or first message then name, then it is valid one. And at the same time the number of arguments must be matched. We can use both positional and keyword arguments simultaneously. But first we have to take positional argument and then keyword argument, otherwise we will get syntax error. So we will see one example based on this one. So this is the example. First of all, write down the def keyword, then after function name wish, then after passing the parameters name and message, don't forget to write down this column, and then after in the body of the loop we are writing print hello, then after comma name, then after comma message. Here we are calling the function wish Arman good morning. So Arman will be assigned to name and good morning will be assigned to message. So what will be the output in this case? That is hello Arman, good morning. Now again we are calling a wish function over here, wish Arman message equals to good morning. So Arman will be assigned to name and message will be assigned to good morning. So what will be the output in this case? That is hello Arman, good morning. Now over here once again we are calling the same function wish name equals to Arman and then after good morning. So it will give you the error. In this case the output will be syntax error, positional argument follows keyword argument. See here first we have written keyword argument and then after positional argument, hence it will give you the error because positional argument follows keyword argument. See here we have positional argument, again here we have positional argument, so there won't be any error. Here we have positional argument and here we have keyword argument, so positional argument follow keyword argument, so again there won't be any error. But over here you can see we have first keyword argument then after positional argument, so it will give you an error because always positional argument follows keyword argument. Now I will show you the output of the same program in PyCharm. See, I have written the same program over here and the last line, that is commented out. Now I will just run this program. Just click on this run button, again click on this run button, then after see the file name is part2 keyword argument. So just click on part2 keyword argument. Now you can see the output, that is hello Arman, good morning. Then after again you can see the output, that is hello Arman, good morning. But if I will just delete this hash sign, now I will just run this program once again. See, just click on this run button and make sure that we are in same file name, that is part2 keyword argument. Just click on this run button. So what it will give us, see the output. This is a syntax error. Positional argument follows keyword argument. Here we have written keyword argument first and then after positional argument. So this one will give us error, and that is positional argument follows keyword argument. Now we will see default arguments. So what is default arguments? Sometimes we can provide default values for our positional arguments. For example, here we have declared one function, that is, first of all we have to write down this keyword, that is def, then after function name wish, and then after name equals to guest. So here we are providing the default value for the parameter name, and then after don't forget to write down this column, and in the body of the loop we are passing one print message, that is hello comma name comma good morning. So if I will just call the function like this, wish Arman, so what will be the output in this case? The output will be hello, what is the name, that is Arman, and then after good morning. So output in this case, that will be hello Arman, good morning. But if I will call the function like this, wish, without passing any name, so what will be the output in this case? So in this case it will take the default positional argument. So in this case the output will be hello guest, good morning. See what will be the output? See, the output is hello Arman, good morning, and in next case the output is hello guest, good morning. If we are not passing any name, then only default value will be considered. Now I will show you the output in Pycharm. See, I have written the same program. Now we will run this program. Just click on this run button. Click on again run button. Now select the file name. Here the file name is part1 default argument. So click on part1 default argument. Now you can see the output. In case of wish Arman, the output is hello Arman, good morning, and in case of this one, that is wish only, so we have output hello guest, good morning. After default arguments, we should not take non-default arguments. For example, def wish name equals to guest, message equals to good morning. So these two are default arguments, so this is valid one. Def wish name comma message equals to good morning. So name, this is a non-default argument, this one is a default argument, so this is valid one. But def wish name equals to guest comma message, see this one is a default argument, and message, this one is a non-default argument, so this is invalid. It will give you the syntax error, that is non-default argument follows default argument. Okay, now we will see variable length arguments. Sometimes we can pass variable number of arguments to our function. Such type of arguments are called variable length arguments. We can declare a variable length argument with a star symbol as follows. See, first of all we have to write down the keyword def, then after function name f1, then after star, and then after symbol n, and just don't forget to write down this column. We can call this function by passing any number of arguments including 0 number. Internally, all these values represented in the form of tuple. I will just make you understand about tuple in forthcoming lectures. Okay, now I will make you understand variable length argument with the help of example. So first of all, we have to write down def keyword, then after function name sum, then after in parenthesis star, and then after n, and don't forget to write down this column. Initially, we are initializing the variable total, that is equals to 0. Now then after we are writing the for loop for every element n1 in n. What is total? Total equals to total plus n1. So it will add all the elements n1 present in n. Initially it will add the first element n1 with total 0 and will assign the value to total, and then after next value in n will be added to total, and finally it will give the sum of all the values n1 present in n. So finally this print statement will execute, that is print the sum equals to total. See, if I will just call the function sum10, so what it will give me? It will give me only 10, because here we are passing only one argument, that is 10. But if I will say pass two arguments, that is sum 10 comma 20, so what it will give me? It will give me the output 10 plus 20, that is 30. But if I will say call this function, that is sum 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40, so what it will give me? It will give me the sum of all these numbers, that is 10 plus 20 30, 30 plus 30 60, and finally 60 plus 40, that is 100. So the output is the sum equals to 10, the sum equals to 30, the sum equals to 100. Now I will show you the output of this program in PyCharm. See, I have written the same program in PyCharm editor. Now I will just run this program. Just click on this run button. Again click on this run button. Select the file name. The file name is part1 variable length argument. Just click on part1 variable length argument. Now you can see the output. The sum equals to 10 for this one. The sum equals to 30 for this one. And the sum equals to 100 for this one. We can mix variable length arguments with positional arguments. How? I will just make you understand with the help of examples. See, here we have declared a function using the keyword def with function name f1, passing the parameters n1, comma, star s, and don't forget to write down this column. So first of all print n1, then after for s1 in s, and then after print s1. See, if I will just call this function f110, so what it will do? It will print 10 only, because here is print n1. Okay, and this one is positional argument. So 10 will be assigned to n1 and the output will be print n1, so it will print 10. Now if I will just call this function, that is f1 10, 20, 30, 40. So what it will do? It will print all these values, that is 10, 20, 30, 40, because it is a variable length argument which is defined by star s over here. So for every s1 in s, it will print s1. So here the value of s1 will be 10, 20, 30 and 40. So it will print 10, 20, 30 and 40. Then after, if I will just call the function f1 10a 30b, so again it will give me the output, that is 10 a 30 and b. You can see the output, right? For f1 10 we have 10 only. For f1 10, 20, 30, 40 we have 10, 20, 30, 40. For f1 10a 30b we have 10a 30b. Now I will show you the output in PyCharm. See, I have written the same program. Now we will just run this program. Click on this run button. Again click on the run button. Select the file name. The file name is part2 variable length argument. So just click on part2 variable length argument. Now you can see the output. See, for F1 10 we have 10. For F1 10, 20, 30, 40 we have 10, 20, 30, 40. Then after for F1 10 A 30 B we have 10 A 30 B. After variable length argument, if we are taking any other arguments, then we should provide values as keyword arguments. See, for example, def, the function name is f1. Here star s is the variable length argument. If we are providing any argument after the variable length argument, then it must be a keyword argument. Here is the colon. Now in the body of the loop, we are checking the presence of every s1 in s. For s1 in s, we have to print s1, and then after we have to print this n1. For example, here we are calling this function, that is f1 a b n1 equals to 10. So what will be the output in this case? It will give us the output a, b, and then after 10. So for variable length argument, it will print a and b, and for keyword argument n1 equals to 10, it will print 10. See, this is the output a, b, 10. But if I will call the function like this, f1 a, b, 10. So this is invalid, because here compulsory we have to mention the keyword argument. That's why over here this one is invalid. It will give you type error, f1 missing one, required keyword only argument n1. It means over here we required n1 equals to 10. Then and then only it will give you the output. Otherwise it will give you the error like this. Now I will show you the output in PyCharm. See, I have written the same program for you, and the last line is commented one. So I will just run this program. Just click on this run button. Again click on this run button. Select the file name, and the file name is part3 variable length argument. So click on part3 variable length argument. You can see the output, that is a, b, 10, right? A, b, and 10. Now just delete this hash sign. Now I will just run this program for you. You can see the same file name over here. Just click on this run button and it will give you the error, right? See, this is the error, because here we are writing 10 only. We have to write down n1 equals to 10. Then and then only it will give you the output. Otherwise it will give you the error like this, that is type error, f1 missing one, required keyword only argument, that is n1 over here. We can declare keyword variable length argument also. For this purpose, what we have to do? For this we have to use double star. Def f1 double star and then after colon. We can call this function by passing any number of keyword arguments. How? I will just make you understand with the help of example. No need to worry. Internally, these keyword arguments will be stored inside a dictionary. Now, what is dictionary? Again, I will make you understand about dictionaries and tuple. No need to worry right now about these topics. In the forthcoming lectures, I will make you understand the concept of tuple and dictionary. See, this is the example. First of all, write down def keyword. This is the function name display. And write down double star keywords argument. Don't forget about this column. Now for k comma v in keywords argument dot items, print k equals to v. So what it will do, it will print all the keyword arguments present in the list. For example, if I will just call this function, say display m1 equals to 100, m2 equals to 200, m3 equals to 300. So what it will do, it will print all these keyword arguments. m1 equals to 100, in the next line m2 equals to 200, in the next line m3 equals to 300, in this way. And if I will just call this function, so what will be the output in this case? It will print all the keyword arguments given over here. Roll number equals to 100, then after name equals to Arman, marks equals to 88, subject equals to Java. See, this is the output. m1 equals to 100, m2 equals to 200, m3 equals to 300, roll number equals to 100, name equals to Arman, marks equals to 88, and finally subject equals to Java. This is the output. m1 equals to 100, m2 equals to 200, and m3 equals to 300. This is the output of first display function, and this one is the output of second display function. Now I will show you the output in PyCharm. See, I have written the same program for you. Now I will just run this program. Just click on this run button. Again click on this run button. Then after click on part 4 variable length argument, because this is the file name. See, you can see the output for first display function. We have m1 equals to 100, m2 equals to 200, m3 equals to 300. Now for second display function, we have roll number equals to 100, name equals to Arman, marks equals to 88, and subject equals to Java. Marks equals to 88 and subject equals to Java. So in today's lecture, we have seen functional argument, and we have seen 4 types of functional argument. One is positional argument, the second one is keyword argument, the third one is default argument, and the fourth one is variable length arguments. And we have discussed various examples based on these function arguments. Thank you for watching this video.